This is Clean Easy Makeup made for the maturing woman, which starts at 30 years old, believe it or not. So if you're in that age range or close to that age range and you're still using liquid foundation or powders, Bare Minerals is kind of the #1 used makeup, you gotta try cream. It's just gonna do your face wonderful things. You're gonna have a dewy glow. It's gonna give you coverage with the tiniest amount of product. It's all-in-one compact. So it really just doesn't get better than this. So you can't buy Seint in stores, so we share it this way. We get the word out about it this way. So that's why we're here. I'm gonna show you what a basic palette looks like. So it's a little different than traditional makeup. So traditional makeup, liquid, you get that big bottle, 70% of it is water, maybe even more. It evaporates off your skin. It oxidizes, which means it changes color throughout the day. This is cream makeup, no water, 3D foundation. So we're emphasizing the natural dimension of our face because our face is not flat like a wall. There's so much dimension, and 3D foundation brings that forward, and it's beautiful. So you have contour. Take a deep breath. I would have never contoured unless Seint didn't tell me how to do it. And guess what? It's easy and you can do it too. And then we have the brightening highlight. We bring that to the center of the face to bring light and bright to the eyes. And then we have the main highlight, the one that looks most like your skin. And we put that kind of in our bearded area to kind of blend the gap between the light and the dark. And last but not least, a lip cheek for your lips and your cheeks. It's dually purposed, which I love. And this is our holiday shade of the season, Ever Red, which is one of my favorites. She goes away, but sometimes will make an appearance during the holidays. So if you like her, I'm going to use her today, even though I'm wearing pink earrings, I'm going to use Ever Red. Grab her because she won't be here for very long. So this is a basic palette, plus you would get a brush. Usually the 3D foundation brush comes with it, and I don't have one down here, but you get the palette, everything in here, and a brush for $111. So it's a great place to start. I always recommend starting with a palette 12 because usually people end up loving it and then they want to add to it, but they want it all in one spot. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of this makeup. You're no longer digging through a huge makeup bag. It's all in one spot. So this is a palette 18, but I always say a palette 12 is the perfect spot. So think about that when you're diving in. To get a color match selfie, you got to look out a window or front door. So this is how you get matched to this makeup. This is important. Look out a window or front door, no lights on above or behind you, show a little neck, send it to me. I can help get you matched. There's another way if you're like, nope, don't have time, it gets too dark, you know, all the things, this week is busy. You can go to the link, create an account, select a collection. There's 3 to choose from. There's a basic bundle, which I showed you. There's somewhere in the middle, and then there's like an all-in. Like, I'm sick of everything I have, give it to me. So you can select a collection, and then you go to select my shade. You scroll through the women, select what shade looks most like your skin tone, add to bag, and you can get it that way too. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna demo this makeup for you. I'm gonna work out of that palette 4, just so you know. This is the basics, and it's a great place to start with Seint. Now, our collections include the 3D foundation brush, and if you're just gonna get one brush, that's the brush I would recommend. I like it because it has a domed end for blending, and then it has a smaller coned end for placement and getting kind of in the smaller areas of your face. These are my 2 favorite, the ones I use the most, a buff brush and the blush and bronzer brush. So I'm going to use these. I like this for placement because it has tight, dense bristles. And this has it's not dense at all. So I love this for blending. So I'm going to use the buff to start, and I'm going to dip in that contour that we maybe wouldn't have tried unless someone helped us. So I'm just dabbing in. You don't need much at all because there is no water. It's heavily pigmented cream. So we're going top of ear to outer corner of eye, okay? Because we're gonna emphasize that cheekbone. You always wanna aim on being higher than lower. You can always put your brush on your cheekbone, roll into the hollow, and you know that's right where your line should be. Or go off your landmarks, top of ear, outer corner of eye. We're gonna do the same thing over here, top of ear to outer corner of eye. This just kind of lifts our whole face up. I love that I know I now feel confident in using contour, and you can too, and it does. It just lifts your face. So I did the same thing over here. They are not equal. They are not perfect. That's okay. Cream blends out beautifully. Next part of contour, we just kind of go temple to temple right along our hairline. You see that I have a ginorm forehead. It's true, and I passed it on to my son, Kale. He's one of my twins, and when he was a baby, my daughter called him a beluga head because of, is it Dory that has that whale, that beluga with the big head? Anyways, this shortens your forehead just a hair if you have a longer forehead, because it just emphasizes the roundness of our heads. So kind of go temple to temple right along the hairline. And then the other part of contour, I like this because it narrows your nose a little bit. So you follow your eyebrow line down. You see how that's shadowed anyway? You're just going to emphasize that shadow a little bit with your contour. Okay, just like that. If I can do it, you can do it. I kind of take the edge of my brush and follow my eyebrow line down. And you see they are not perfect, but they did make my nose appear a little bit thinner. And you can do this too. Now it kind of looks long, right? Right? Don't you think? So I like to cut it off just right at the tip, just put a little contour, and then it almost pushes this end up a little. Who would have thunk it? We're contouring. So now I like to put a little under my lip for added pucker. It just kind of deepens that shadow and makes your lower lip appear a little bit bigger. Everybody wants a juicy lip. Next, we're just gonna emphasize this jawline, and then we're done with contour. So you just kind of bold this out, and we kind of shadow down here what we're not so crazy about. So I'm starting to get like little bit of turkey neck there, but this will just shadow that back, so it's not really emphasized or seen. So I brush this back right away, but the goal here is to just kind of chisel out that jawline so your jaw is really chiseled. Okay, we're done with contour. On to brightening highlight. This is the light and bright. This is your triangle of light on your face. I had to Google it. The top of your brows is the top of triangle, and the chin is the bottom of the triangle. We want to give light and bright to that triangle. So we take the lightest color of our 3D foundation. I'm using the same brush because our brushes are magical. They were made for this cream, so they just kind of deposit it right on your face, and you don't have to worry about it muddying. All Seint products were made to be worn together, so there's no pilling, muddying. It's just beautiful cream makeup that's a single layer on your face. You don't even feel it. So I put a little brightening highlight in between the brows, and then I go down my nose here, just kind of in the center to brighten that center. And it doesn't matter if it looks a little crooked, it's fine. We're gonna blend in the end. I put a little on the tip of my nose, and then I hit my Cupid's bow. Look how red I am there. We are blowing our noses a lot, even though the winter has been okay so far here. And then I'm gonna put a little bit on my chin. So remember, this is our triangle of light. We're brightening that area. So basically down the center of your face, I put a little up here. And then we're gonna get those eyes. So I like to put a little tiny bit in the inner corner. Remember, if you have texture or wrinkled skin, I have a lot right there. Less is more. You don't want a lot of product because no matter what you use, it will migrate. So that's another reason Seint works so well, is it's heavily pigmented, so you need very, very little product to get some coverage and kind of lighten what you don't love around your eyes. So I put a little dollop in the inner corner, and then I go on the outer corner, under corner of my eye, and I lift up because we want to lift our eyes. You see that line there? We're going to blend in the end, but it's lifting our face up. We're done with brightening. This is when I switch to my blush and bronzer brush. Remember, if you're just getting one, get the 3D foundation brush. It has an end just like this. And I'm gonna put in my main highlight on my main highlight. I'm just gonna dab into that color. You don't need much at all. And I'm gonna press it on the lower half of my face where I don't have product. Okay? That's called stippling, another term I learned. Pressing it into your skin is just a lot more gentle to your skin, and you're not swiping the product away, so you kind of get more out of your makeup. So I'm putting that on the lower half of my face. Look at this. Look what Seint does. It lifts and gives us light and bright and glow. Once you have this down, honestly, it takes about 2 to 3 times, but then this takes 5 minutes or less. And this is such a nice size. It literally fits in your pocket or a fanny pack, their back somehow, I don't know how, your purse, your console in your car. So anyways, I'm gonna blend light to dark now. That's just how I was taught. I like my contour lines, so I kind of go after those last so I don't blend them completely out. So I'm trying to be good and stipple, but I like to blend all the light, so our main highlight and our brightening highlight, get all those spots first, and then we will attack that beautiful contour that I never ever thought was in my realm of beauty. I am a nurse, so you know, this is not my forte, but Seint made me feel comfortable doing my own makeup. Like, that's huge for a woman. So I'm blending out my light, and I love the finish. It's like, wow, I did that. But the 3D is what it is. I mean, the 3D is the magic. Okay, I think I blended the light. I think I did. Sometimes I forget. Now we're gonna get the dark. So I do small circles, or I push this back into my hairline. Either way. So look at how that blended, so nice. So it's not such a big difference between the light and the dark. It's just kind of nice and blended. Okay, I might need to blend a little bit more over here. Okay, now I'm gonna buff out those nose lines. So I just kind of run my brush over them because I still want them there, but I don't want them to there. This is another good spot. Like if you have a perfector sponge, you know, you always use these wet, but never go without one of these because these guys can help blend too. Okay, so now we're gonna lift up and back with our cheekbone contour. So push this up and back because we wanna lift our face. This is probably the only rule. You wanna lift up and back with that cheek, because look at, yes, and we don't even have a lip cheek on yet. And we're gonna use that beautiful Ever Red. Holidays are sneaking up on us. It's already the 5th. Look at that. We know how to do makeup. Yes, we do. Okay, so I'm gonna put on that lip cheek, the last part of our 3D foundation, and I'm gonna use my finger for the lip. And it's a little bold, but you can honestly, these are sheer glosses, so you can use barely any, or you can bold them out and use a little more. But, okay, oopsies, oopsies. I think she's the perfect holiday red. Look at this, just clean her up. Clean her up, there we go. So that's Ever Red, really clashes with my earrings. I might have to change them, but isn't she a good color? Now I'm gonna use her as my cheek color. So I'm using my blush and bronzer brush, just bopping into Ever Red. You don't need much at all. Got some on my hand. I like to put it right on the apple of my cheek because I have lost volume mid-face. But if you want to continue to narrow, start your blush on the outer corner of your eye and work it up. It'll just narrow with your contour. If you're like me and you're long in the face, put it right on the apple of your cheek, and that will kind of give you more of a help with a little bit wider. It'll emphasize like right here. I can't really talk right now. And see, I kind of went crazy over here, so I'm just gonna clean it up a bit. Oops. And I just dabbed into my brightening highlight just to kind of go over this because I got a little bit wild over there. But look at Ever Red, kind of a nice, subtle holiday shade. You like her? Let me know. Okay, so that's the basics. That's Seint 3D. That's the basic palette. Boom. We are lifted. We have dimension and glow. I have to add bronzer because I'm a bronzer girl. And if you are, that's great. If you're gonna get bronzer though, you can get this awesome brush, which I love applying it with this big fluffy end, and a bronzer. My most recommended is Bella, but we have 5 to choose from. And I love helping if you want some help with that. But I wear it all year round. I feel like it just kind of warms up any look. I live in South Dakota, the frozen tundra of America. And so we don't get a lot of light, bright sun. So I put a little of this baby on every day. So you kind of go top of cheek, top of forehead. I'll just do this one side so you kind of notice the difference. But with our bronzer, or all cream bronzers really, there is no shimmer and there is no orange. So I just put it on the top of my cheek, top of forehead for a nice little golden glow. Isn't it good? I like to mix it with one of our illuminators, Nova. So I put them right by each other. So I have a little bit of, because I like a little sparkle. But Bella alone, or any of our bronzers alone, are gorge too. So just gonna warm up this side of my face. If you have a white neck and you're always like, gosh, my neck doesn't match my face, just bring that bronzer down on your neck and the problem is solved. So that's Seint in a nutshell. Like I said, I love having a perfector sponge or a beauty blender. We have great Stay Spray. I recommend this if you're kind of a dry skinned gal, or normal skin, normal to dry. And then if you are oily to normal, I would get the Vanilla setting powder. This is a finely milled translucent. So I kind of like to pop this where I move my face a lot, which I move my whole face, but right under my eyes here and then around my mouth and nose. It just helps that makeup stay all day. And then, like I said, if you are a dry gal, I would use our setting spray. And then I like to spray my setting spray on a perfector sponge. Then if this nozzle isn't feeling it that day and just hoses me down, we're still friends. So I just put it on my perfector and I kind of put this everywhere just to help my makeup stay. Another benefit of the perfector is if you're starting with cream for the first time, remember you always use these damp. It'll pick up any extra cream that hasn't settled into your skin. The #1 mistake with Seint is using too much. So I always say grab one of these if you don't have one at home, and I just threw mine. Okay, that's it. I hope you have a great day.